What if I told you that we are currently at a turning point in human history? That right now, in this very moment, a huge, gigantic, astronomical, cosmic event, really divine intervention, is taking place in this moment. One that will actually change humanity, change our consciousness, and change reality as we know it. The reason that this is happening is because the Schumann resonance of the Earth is accelerating. The Schumann resonance is essentially the heartbeat of the Earth. For centuries, the heartbeat of the Earth has been so low. Like, the Earth was beating at a very low rate. Boop, boop, boop. What scientists and spiritual leaders are noticing is that the heartbeat of the Earth, the Schumann resonance, is accelerating at such an astronomical rate, which is causing the vibration and the frequency of the Earth to rise. And what happens when the frequency and the vibration of the Earth rises? It's changing the frequency and the vibration of everything that is inhabiting the Earth, including us humans. So that means that our frequency and our vibration is rising at the same time. So now what happens when our frequency and our vibration rise? That means that now we have access to actually seeing and experiencing a lot more that reality has to offer. For a long time, we were taught and we believed that reality was very linear, that if reality was very 1, 2, 3, ABC, that this happens, then this happens, then this happens. When you have a spiritual awakening and you start to vibrate at a higher frequency, you start to notice a lot of synchronicities. You start to notice how you are actually a creator of your life. You start to notice that reality is a lot more fluid. Reality is a lot more expansive. Reality is a lot grander than we've ever been taught. We haven't even scratched the surface of who we truly are. And this is why this channel is called I Am. Because I am that I am. I am everything. I am all encompassing. I am powerful. That's what God referred to himself as. I am. And that's who we are. We are all encompassing. We are all powerful. And once we truly start to not only see that, experience that, but embody that, a lot of us will start to see how great and amazing reality is outside of the systems that we have been brought into. For so long as humans, we've been trapped in systems of absolute control. Systems of absolute control. I mean, we've had all these systems. We've had the government structures that were there to completely keep us in check and keep us in line, right? We'd have democracy, for instance. We've had financial and economic structures like capitalism that was really there to make us prioritize profits, money over people. We've had religious structures that consistently told us that we were not enough, that we were not deserving, and that a higher authoritative power and a higher punitive power outside of ourselves will keep us in check. We've had the media and pop culture that constantly fed us fear, that constantly fed us shame and guilt, trip us into believing that we are not enough, guilt trip us into hating ourselves, to sell us things to consume so we could buy more. We've had, what else? We've had the health and medical structures that continuously sell us poison and sell us pills when we get sick and forget to tell us that the same power that created us is the same power that can heal us, that our bodies have natural healing abilities. We've had structures like the education system that turned us into blind workers, right? That told us that we need to go to school to get our jobs and get a job to pay bills, to die, right? That turned it into blind workers, into people who don't critical think for themselves, who don't ask the bigger questions, right? We were just there and fed, again, stay in line, follow the rules. I mean, I could go on. I could literally go on, because every single one of societal structures that were built these last centuries were not there to encourage our biggest human potential. When you were born and raised in a reality that constantly told you that you were not enough and that you have to seek outside of yourself in order to be worthy of anything, when you wake up to the truth of how powerful you are as a human being, man, it's a scary thing. You almost want to continue to stay unawake, because it's almost like your whole sense of self, your whole sense of being is crumbling, is destroyed, and you have no understanding of how else reality can work, because that's all you know. So welcome to I Am That I Am. This is where we talk about spiritual awakening. This is where we talk about navigating the fall of the systems, navigating what you thought was true. This is where we talk about how to heal traumas, because we were traumatized to the core. We were traumatized. And learning to heal a lot of that trauma is essential to being able to step into the new earth, to this new vibration, to this higher frequency that we're heading into. Everybody's going through it on a personal level, and on a social level, societal level, we are also going through it. Everything that's going on in America right now is a part of that shift, and it's going to be chaotic. I know that my spiritual awakening, at the beginning, I thought it was just going to be all the rainbows and sunshines, but no, it was very chaotic, because you're leaving an old way of being. You're leaving an old way of thinking. You're leaving an old way of operating, an old consciousness, and you're entering a new. And like for a lot of things, when you're leaving the old, getting into the new, the old has to fall apart. And a lot of times, because we're so used to that old, it's so comfortable, we cling to it. And leaving that old becomes very, very hard and very chaotic. But it doesn't necessarily always have to be, if you learn to surrender and to let go and to understand that the chaos is actually bringing such a more vast, more expansive, more loving, more abundant new way of being, new life that is so far outside of anything we've ever experienced on this earth. But it does exist right here, right now. We have access to it, and we are transforming, and we are coming into it. And so, yes, that shift is going to be chaotic for a lot of people. It's chaotic already. And it might continue to be chaotic. But like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be. A lot more people are coming out online now and talking about this shift and talking about how to navigate it, because a lot of people had gone through it. And again, it was very hard. But again, as humans, we learn from each other's experiences. And this is why I've also decided to come online, because I know what I had to go through. I know the things that I understood about shifts and getting into a higher frequency, and understanding that reality has so much more to offer, and that you can literally manifest your whole life. And that there is a higher power that is guiding us through it all, that is orchestrating all of it, and that is there for us to help us shift into this new life, into this new reality. And so this is why, again, I created I Am That I Am. We are going into a huge pivotal moment in time, right? We were raised with so much, I care to say bullshit, honestly. We were raised with so much bullshit. And I'm someone from a very young age that always felt like this life was not real, that it was not the truth of who we truly are. I've always been a seeker of truth, a seeker of more, because I just never was able to just accept all of that. I was never really great in school. I mean, I was fine, doing just enough to get by, but I was never really interested. And when I went into the workforce, it was the same thing. I was never really interested. I never wanted to do it. In fact, I quit as soon as I got in, because to me, I always believed that there was just so much more that this world has to offer, and I never knew exactly what. I've been seeking, and then again, through this seeking, there was a lot of chaos. But in this a lot of chaos, I've learned so much. I've learned to surrender to God. I've learned the powers that be, and I've learned about this shift that is happening, not just to me, but to essentially millions and millions of people around the world, and it's going to continue to happen. A lot more people are going to start to awaken in the months and years to come, and a lot of people are going to start to want to seek more truth than what our previous world had taught us. And so a lot of these type of channels are going to start to pop up, which I'm very excited about. A lot is not going to be as woo-woo things, but all of this is coming. But I'll just to say that yes, life is shifting. A lot of chaos is happening, and all the chaos that you're seeing around you is for a purpose. Everything that God does is for a purpose. It's for a bigger a reason. It's for a loving reason. It's to get us to see who we truly are. That's what Jesus was telling us, that we are one with God. God is within us. We are all powerful, and we are getting to a point where we are starting to see that, to experience that, and to be that I am that I am. So welcome to my channel. My name is Diana Janku, and I will see you guys on the next episode, where we'll talk a little bit more in depth about the structures that are falling apart, the matrix that is falling apart, that is collapsing, and a little bit about how to navigate it. So see you guys on the next episode. Bye. Most people think spirituality is all about love and light, but they forget one simple truth. You cannot find the light without walking through the darkness. True awakening is not just seeing beyond the illusions of the world. It's facing the shadows within yourself. When you open your mind and break free from the illusions of our three-dimensional world, you realize that much of what you believed was a lie. This can feel like destruction, as if your entire sense of self is being torn down. In a way, it is. Because to awaken, you must let go of the old, confront your past, and rebuild yourself from the ground up. This is not easy. Many people feel lost and even overwhelmed by the weight of spiritual knowledge. The deeper you go, the more detached you may feel from this physical world. But here's the paradox. The world isn't meant to be rejected. It's meant to be embraced.